This is the original DJI Neo, this is the DJI Neo 2, and this is the Hover Air Pro Max. Let's go test and compare and see which one of these follow drones might be the right drone for you. And just so we're clear, DJI didn't send me either of the Neos. I bought and paid for both of them. The Hover Air was sent to me originally for a review, but they have nothing to do with this video and nobody's sponsoring this video. One thing's definitely clear between the Neo and the Neo 2 and the Hover Air is the Neo, the original Neo, has the worst image quality by far. There's a substantial improvement in the Neo 2. But honestly, the one that surprised me the most was the Hover Air X1 Pro Max. It has fantastic looking footage, and it's the only one that will also have a log profile and shoot in a 10-bit color profile if you want that. But between the Neo 2 and the Hover Air, like, they both look really good. The Hover Air, though, just looks fantastic, which is really impressive. Now, they can all take photos. I didn't really mess with photos because these are not really photo drones, but you can take photos with them if you want to. These are some photos I've taken with various versions of these drones, but I didn't do a direct photo comparison. Aside from the image quality differences, there are quite a few other differences too. All three of these drones, you can use your phone, you can use them without a controller at all and just kind of have them preset modes, but I do recommend using your phone to set the initial settings at least, and you can fly with different types of remotes if you want to. Now, both of the Neos can be controlled using the DJI, or flown using the DJI goggles in an FPV mode with a regular controller, or the controller with the screen, the RC2, or you can use the little stick hand controller thing if you want to use that. The Hover Air generally flies by itself, but they also have a beacon that you can use, which works pretty well, and you can also set it up with a sort of controller if you get those accessories so that you can fly it more like a regular drone. Out of these, the Neo 1 and 2 have the best range. The Neo 2 definitely has the best range by far, probably largely due to this little, if you have this little OcuSync 4 thing on the back, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere near as good a range. But that shouldn't be surprising because DJI is so far ahead of the game when it comes to their control link and their video feeds. But I think honestly the way most people are going to use these is just as a follow drone, either with a phone or without a phone. And when it comes to that, the Neo 1 is the most limited. You get the 6 options here, and that's about it. And you can't do any changes, you can't make any changes while you're going. And with the Neo 1, there is no obstacle avoidance. There are some downward obstacle sensors, which didn't work for me once on the ice. It flew directly down into the ice one time, but it just, you know, it is what it is. It's incredibly small and it's incredibly lightweight. And the Neo 1 has the least battery life out of all of these, which is surprising because I thought maybe the Hover Air would. Now, I was testing in like 6 below 0 to 10 below 0, so that's like 17 below C and 22 below 0 C, so that's very cold, and that is going to give you much shorter battery life. I have it, the Neo 1 tucked in my jacket here, because one little flight, and it was just like, no, it's too cold, I cannot take off again, because I was going to do the tracking from the front, so I'm going to warm it up in inside my jacket here, and then we'll try it again. Both of these are very close. The Neo 2 definitely has the most battery life, but the Hover Air actually isn't too bad. I was getting about 10 to 12 minutes with the Neo 2 and about 8 to 10 ish minutes with the Hover Air. But yeah, they did really well. It's so cold that my hand warmers aren't even keeping the drone batteries warm. So as soon as I get done with the flight, they get tucked inside my jacket. All my jackets, so they're next to my body base layer to try and keep things warm. So like I said before, with the Neo 1, you get the least amount of flight modes. You get the 6 different settings where you can track from behind. You can have it track you from the front or from the side a little bit, although I've had mixed results with that. And then you get the other 4 quick shots, which are like droney, rocket, boomerang, and circle. With the Neo 2, you actually get a fair amount more, including master shots, which is nice. If you want to have it just grab a bunch of shots of you really quickly, it'll do a bunch of different options just somewhat automatically. It'll track from the front, the side, the rear left, the rear right. You can really customize where you want it to track from. And then, of course, you do get all of the other quick shot modes like rocket and circle and helix or boomerang or droney. All of those different types of shots you can get with the Neo 2. Now, the Hover Air has kind of the in-between options for tracking. It will track from the rear. It will track from, when they say dolly track, it'll track from the side or from the front, kind of stay in the rough position that you put it in. And then it also has the typical shots of like a rocket or a droney, circle, stuff like that. All kind of the normal things that you expect or see in these follow drones. The Neo 2 and the Hover Air both have modes that are customized for things like cycling or skiing. And so if you do some of those types of activities, then one of these drones is definitely going to be a lot better. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying or getting value out of this video, then consider subscribing. I go out and test and compare equipment in the most real-world conditions I can find here in Alaska where I live. And I give you tips and tutorials on how to use it. Now back to controls. With the Neo 2, you actually get these 2 screens on the front here, or not 2 screens, this is infrared, but you get this screen here that tells you a lot of information, which is super welcome. And then you get these buttons, and you can use different combinations of these button presses to change the parameters of like how far, if it's high or low, stuff like that. You can't change any of the video settings without using something like your phone. The Hover Air, something similar where you turn it on here and then you can cycle through your different settings. Now you can't do more than that to change like your resolution or your frame rate or distances and stuff like that. You will need to use your phone. But one of the unique features about the Neo 2 is that it includes gesture control, which basically means you can use your hands, position the drone where you want it, and then the drone will stay in that position when you're tracking. Super useful if you don't want to pull your phone out and change it or land the drone and change it, or anything like that. And of course, between these, like the Neo 1 and the Neo 2 here, the Hover Air is the only one that folds up and makes for a very small and very lightweight package. But another big difference between these 3 drones is the Neo 1 and the Neo 2 are built-in memory only, where the Hover Air has built-in memory as well, but it also has an SD card. So you can record directly to an SD card if you don't want to have to plug the drones in. And of course, another big difference is that while the Neo 1 has no obstacle avoidance at all, the Neo 2 has 360 visual obstacle avoidance, which works okay. I've definitely had it crash on me. And then this LiDAR sensor, which is used, I think, largely for forward-facing obstacle avoidance, but also for tracking a subject. So that is pretty nice, in fact. Where the Hover Air has this downward-facing sensor here to give it distance, and then it has a backward-facing sensor as well, so that if you're flying backward from yourself, you can, hopefully not hit something. On the, I have had this crash fairly often. Now, actually, I've had all of these crash fairly often, and they're all quite durable because they're all ducted propellers, and they do handle the crashes really well. Now, all 3 of these drones can record your voice and include that as part of the drone video. They go about it a little differently. They either use your phone, or you can use, with the DJI's systems at least, you can use the DJI mics as well. And then that comes to price. Starting with the most expensive, though, is definitely the Hover Air 1 Pro Max, but it shouldn't be surprising. Like, it's shooting at 8K, and I think does look the best as far as the image quality that comes out of it. The next would be the DJI Neo 2, which is fairly substantially cheaper depending on the packages you get. on all these drones, but the Neo 2 definitely cheaper at around $260 to $360 if I remember correctly. And of course, the cheapest is the DJI Neo 1, which should be around $200 or $250, something like that. So definitely the cheapest of them. So which one of these drones should you choose? Honestly, like, I wouldn't get the Neo 1 unless you want a drone that you just want to try and see if you even like using drones at all. The Neo 2 is by far, I think, probably the best follow drone, and it stays with you. It tracks really well, and it has the best obstacle avoidance for sure, but it is a little more difficult to get in the US at least. And if you want to get one in the US, I have links below that are updated with like whoever has them in stock, and also places you can get them that I've purchased through and that friends have purchased through on eBay, so that if you want to get them from like South Korea or something, you won't pay tariffs and you will actually get it into the country. If you want the best image quality, that's really close, but honestly, I think the Hover Air Pro Max has just really fantastic image quality. Not to mention the fact that you can actually film in a 10-bit log color profile, so if you're wanting to kind of match that up to other cameras or anything like that, you can a little bit better with the Pro Max. Where the Neo 2, you get just straight out of camera colors, and that's what it is. Not that they're bad, they're not. They look really good. DJI does a great job of their standard color profile, but it is limited in that way. Next, you're going to want to watch this video right here. I'll see you over there. As always, if you have questions, ask me in the comments below, or you can join my live stream, which happens most Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We can have more of a conversation. I can answer questions that maybe I didn't get to in this video. I'll see you again soon in the next one. Cheers.